Hello, I'm Mrs. Watson here with Pinnacle Christian School News. First off, we have to talk about a breaking story. An ice storm has hit Texas. Roads are closed, businesses are closed, even schools are closed, like our own school, all week. Kids are playing outside, but they're not very happy because they say the snow's so icy and not very powdery, so they're making little snowmen that look like this scary little fella. But there's good news. We found a group that is loving this weather. Any livestock guardian dog. If you have one, you know. We can't even get them to come inside. But all is well. It'll be over soon. But for now, Texas is still closed, okay? Also, we have a reporter in the field that's going to give us a weather update today. Thank you. James, tell us about the weather.
Hey, I'm James reporting with the weather. Today's weather, it's cloudy and very icy and slippery. Bye.
Hello. For starters, I wanted to tell y'all how much fun last Thursday was at school when we all dressed up like what we'll look like when we're 100. That was too fun. I hope we do that every year. Okay, everyone, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about our project, and then we're going to do a mini lecture on Ronald Reagan, and then we're going to end with our historical spotlight. And next week, we'll go into Unit 18 more about how all the presidents dealt with Islamic terrorism. Okay, so let's get started. We'll talk about our project. Okay, now we're going to talk about our project that I assigned for this week. Okay, so all of your parents got an email with details about our project, okay? So everyone's been assigned a different unit, and you are going to take your unit and you're going to turn it into this. Now this is only a plain piece of white copy paper, okay? And so I want you to go to your unit and read lesson 6. Lesson 6 is a summary of the entire unit. I don't know if y'all have noticed that yet. And then while you're reading lesson 6, take some notes, okay? And that'll help you when you're writing your summary. Okay, so a few requirements you have are to illustrate or print photos of at least one event and 2 people, okay? So I did Unit 1 for an example for y'all, and no one was assigned Unit 1 in all the classes because that wouldn't have been very fair to see my example, okay? So Unit 1 started with the Great Flood. Okay, so here's Noah's Ark, the Great Flood, and then, Noah had 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And we believe that Japheth was the one that traveled to Europe and into North America during an ice age on a land bridge, okay? So here I have that shown right here, Bering Strait Land Bridge. And then also, if you remember, we learned about Native Americans, and they talked about the Iroquois tribe a lot, and they kind of gave us a glimpse into their life through this boy, Gawasawane. Okay, so he was a fictional Iroquois boy, okay? And I just kind of wrote a little bit right here. I wrote about how they were hunters and warriors. I wrote about what they ate, okay? I wrote about the kind of homes they live in, which were longhouses, okay? So this is an example of what it will look like. Now, you don't have to draw it all like I did. You just have to have one original piece of art, okay? Your original piece of art can be digital art you make and print out. You can trace something. I know some of you like to trace and color it. You can even print out a black and white piece of paper and color it in. That's fine. And then for the rest, you can print out pictures. But look, there's like no white space in my art area, and I would love for y'all's to look like that as well. Okay, so the paper I sent you has tons of details about this, so go read it for specific requirements about how long your summary should be and things like that. But here is just an example of what I would like it to look like, and it's due February 14th for 7th and 8th graders, and the 16th for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Okay, hello! Now it is time for our lecture portion of our video, and I have Cornbread, my puppy, here to help us, okay? Okay, so Today, we're going to start by talking about Ronald Reagan. He was the 40th president of the United States. He was president from 1980 to 1984. Okay, so some fun facts about Ronald Reagan before we get started. He was a football player when he was younger, and he was actually very good at it. He was also a lifeguard. It is said that during all the summers that he was lifeguarding, he saved 77 lives. Isn't that amazing? Another thing is his favorite snack was jelly beans, and his favorite flavor was licorice. So they said that he used to have a very bad habit that he tried to quit. That bad habit was smoking tobacco from a pipe, okay? So when he got older and the whole nation realized that's very, very bad for you, he tried to get rid of that bad habit, and licorice jelly beans helped him to do that. But also there's a food that he doesn't like, Brussels sprouts. He does not like Brussels sprouts, okay? All right, so maybe the coolest thing about Ronald Reagan is that not only was he our president, but before that, he was a movie star, okay? He was in 50 movies. His last movie was in 1964, which was just around 16 years or so before he became president. So here's some pictures of him as a movie star. Pretty cool, huh? So he married Nancy Reagan, and when he was inaugurated, there was a little bit of so inaugurated means when you become president. So when he became president, there was a little bit of a crisis going on in Iran, okay? And so before we talk about that, I kind of need to go. Okay, so we've been talking about Ronald Reagan. Before I start talking about his presidency, I wanted to tell you a bit of a backstory about some things that were going on in the world. Okay, so right now a new threat we have is called Islamic terrorism. Okay, so if you are, the religion of Islam worships Allah, who is a false god. And then if you are followers of the religion of Islam, then you're called a Muslim, okay? So we have a problem going on called Islamic terrorism, okay? So it's when radical Islamic groups begin to unlawfully use violence against government and civilians, okay? But I don't want you to think all Muslims are terrorists, okay? Because that's not how it is. Just like, remember during the Civil War, we talked about a radical violent group that was in America. Do y'all remember what it was called? The KKK, okay? So they used violence against African Americans or anyone who supported their need for equal rights, okay? So okay, I just wanted to clear that up before we continue. Okay, so right as Ronald Reagan was inaugurated, at that time, there was a situation going on that had been going on for 444 days in Iran. Okay, so the beginning of that is in Persia, the government was overthrown and Islamic forces took over, and they renamed this country Iran. Well, Persia and America had been allies, so all of a sudden there are 52 people that were working at the U.S. Embassy that now became prisoners or hostages, and the Iranian government would not release them back to America. America tried to negotiate their release. Even some failed military rescue operations did not work also. So during Ronald Reagan's campaign, he promised to have these prisoners released, and he stood up to the Iranians, and they ended up releasing all of the prisoners within hours of him being inaugurated as president, okay? So in the end, he was a tough and strong president for sure. So next week, we're going to talk a little bit more about Unit 18. We'll talk about some other presidents who had to deal with Islamic terrorism as well. But for now, we're going to start on our historical spotlight. So let's use everything we've learned today about Ronald Reagan, and we're going to do our historical spotlight over him. Okay, and next we're going to show you a few fun time-lapse videos of the spotlights we're making at home. Okay?
Thank y'all so much for listening to my lecture about Ronald Reagan. Now the fun parts, I know it's all of your favorite part of class. Let's do our historical spotlights. We're going to show you a few different ones that my kids and I are all doing. Okay, so enjoy, and I can't wait to see y'all spotlights next week.
Hi, this is James Watson, Miss Watson's son, and I will be introducing you to my two adorable dogs. This is Cookie. It's her birthday today, and this is Mr. Cornbread, a new puppy we just got. And I'm going to do a time-lapse video of Ronald Reagan. Do you like the idea? No. This is my historical spotlight on Jelly Bean Snow Cone Reagan, or I could say Ronald Reagan. This is his licorice jelly bean, and I drawn him as a cat. And Ronald Reagan was the 40th president of the United States. He was a movie star before he was the president. He was a tough and strong president. Hostages in Iran were released right as he became president. He loved jelly beans.
Hi, this is Marshmallow. This is my stuff. This is an arrowhead. This is Petchy. This is an antler. And that's more Petchy. And this is
Thomas, what is Petchy? Petrified wood.
Wood turned into stone 300 years ago.
Oh.
And this is my biggest one I have. My dad found this part and I found this part. And I found out they connected, and it's a huge piece.
That's awesome. Thank you, Thomas.
Bye.
Okay, everyone, thanks for watching the video. Just remember, your checklist stays the same. Just the only new homework you have is to watch this video, okay? So y'all have a wonderful weekend. I can't wait to see y'all at school next week.